Here's an entertaining short story about a gal, only 27 years old, who truly thought she had the power in the relationship. This gal is a teacher, and thought that she could boss around her guy when they were talking about marriage and all, and how it was her way or the highway. She was unwilling to compromise about anything. She wanted him to be the sole provider, all that, and all these absurd demands, and he had to follow through on those because, again, she's so amazing. And guess what? She gets a rude awakening, and he sends her packing. As the guy obviously learns, he's got the power in the relationship because he can boot her out. And I've been going to go over, guys, making the point that if your girl you're involved with thinks for whatever reason, maybe based on your actions, that she can tell you what to do and have no compromise, boss you around, be a freaking tyrant, get rid of her. That ain't going to go well. She doesn't love you. But also, you got the power. Guys don't realize they have the power in relationships until after a few times when they had that aha moment. Because at the end of the day, by and large, most women want relationships, and guys at that point can decide whether they want them or not. And if you're a high earner, you're considered to be a catch, you got that ability. Don't settle for some jerk. And oh yeah, guys, real quick, be sure to come join me on Patreon and Locals for the men's community over there. Join your fellow a-holes and me, having a good time, exclusive videos, 2 to 3 a week, as well as commercial-free content. That's, of course, if you become a supporter. But you can come by and become a free member and check it out, see what it's all about, and join later. Link is in the description. And the title of this story is, My girlfriend of 2.5 years suddenly brought up that she wants to be a stay-at-home mom and live on a single income. I don't think it's possible in a high cost of living area. And a shout to Marcus for sending in this story. It says, my girlfriend, a 27-year-old female, and I talked about having kids before. Recently, she told me that she's been thinking and has a list of things she can't compromise on for the future. Okay, here we go. Well, she needs to be a stay-at-home mom until the kids start school, have 2 to 3 kids, own a home, and not adjust our lifestyle. My first thought was, this isn't feasible, especially because we live in a high cost of living area, and that she sees my role as a financial provider instead of a partner or father. Exactly. But she's already dictating terms, and what makes her think she can get away with this? Well, they all think that, well, most of them nowadays, but also because he obviously probably has caved on a lot of things. This guy probably was not her first choice, but the guy she settles for, and those types usually become pee-whipped and go along with things. But this does not sound like a loving girlfriend and future wife who's laying out all these terms. It's her way or the highway. To her, this is a business deal. I've been very fortunate in my job as an engineer and have been saving as much as I could for the future. I made a choice that I now regret to tell my girlfriend a few months ago about my financial situation and savings. Smack! You never reveal it all. Isn't it interesting the timing here? He reveals his income, his savings, all that. And all of a sudden, she's laying out these things about the future, live in the high cost of living area. She wants all these things. Now, one can argue that's actually good because he now got to see her true colors. We can debate back and forth on that, but the point is, look at her change when she found out the real info. I showed her a conservative timeline of when things could be done if I did them alone, and an alternative timeline for having kids, showing the risks that are involved, options of what would need to be given up to achieve that timeline. He's handling this like a business. Okay, on this timeline, it's realistic to do this. On that timeline, it's realistic to do that. But remember, she's putting it all on him. She works as a teacher and makes about 1/3 of what I make with no savings or investments. Neither of our families have the means to help us financially, and they live out of state. In fact, I've been assisting my dad financially for a few years now. Right now, I pay about 2/3 of our rent and all additional utilities. Smack! No, she's just your girlfriend. She should be paying more than that regardless of what she earns. I don't care. I found out that a second cousin of hers that recently had a kid is very much influencing her idea of what she needs and what is feasible for us. There you go. I think it's because she brings them up as a template of what she wants, but they have variables that we do not have. Both sides of that family helped her cousin significantly financially, and the husband of the cousin works from home as a software engineer. Yeah, they're comparing apples and oranges in their scenario here, but this guy's girlfriend doesn't care. And by the way, most people, my experience has been, guys, most people, when it comes to finances, are fucking morons. It's unreal. And usually the younger they are, the dumber they are. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but they also have had bad teachers. As in like parents and mentors. I don't mean actually teachers in school. The family helped them put a down payment on their house, a townhouse about 25 minutes from the city, funded the wedding, the cousin was able to stop working altogether, the grandparents were able to come into town and watch the kid often, and the husband can assist at home. My girlfriend also wants to have kids sooner because she wants to have her dad have grandkids before he dies because she didn't know her grandparents growing up. I feel that it's strange to speed up the timeline so quickly for her dad. Again, what about what our guy here wants? Well, clearly it doesn't matter. He just has to show up and pay. That's all. That is all he is to her, a paycheck and a sperm donor, if those will be his kids. Get out, man. Get out. Listen to this part. Her two friends are also very much entwined in her life. You mean entwined in your life, brother? They have been single their entire adult life and are very judgy of me and give her relationship advice. They've been single their whole lives, adult lives, therefore no relationships, and they're giving her relationship advice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sounds to me they want to sabotage things so she can be single just like them. I enjoy different music, movies, hobbies than they do, and I'm introverted, so I don't go out as much. I like that my girlfriend and I share a lot of interests and do things together, but can still enjoy our own things. I try to be nice to them, but I don't have much to say to them because I don't know how they think about it behind my back to my girlfriend. Dude, guarantee they're talking shit about you. And I wouldn't give them the time of day, but while you should never blindly trust your girlfriend or wife's friends, as I've learned, but if you don't get along with them, believe me, they don't like you, and they're poisoning her. I don't see how this plan she has is possible, and she wants to end the relationship if I can't make it happen. What gives her the guts to do that? Because in her mind, she's so amazing, she's so beautiful, she's 27, she's a prize. I'm sure she's good looking, at least in his eyes. But talk about a poker play there. If you can't do all these things I want, then you're not getting this pussy. Well, newsflash, I'm sure he's not getting much of it anyway. And certainly won't once they get married and have kids. Whoosh, gone. He can replace her. Guys don't understand they have the power. She wants all this stuff. She has to have a husband to pull this off. You have the power, guys, right here. He just hasn't realized it yet. I want to compromise, but anytime I bring up money, she gets hostile and yells at me. Yeah, what a great wife material. Bro, smack, get rid of the hoe. Even my friend that is a surgeon is having trouble affording a home and is putting off having kids in another high cost of living area. There you go. Now, surgeon no doubt has massive student loans from bachelors and med school and all that, but still. Has anybody else dealt with something similar to this? Yeah, dude, lots of guys in varying degrees have dealt with this. And most of them caved and married the demanding bitch, and then they had miserable lives. But you don't have to. Now on to a series of updates to our good ending. He says, the company I work for and many in the area have sponsored daycare on site as a perk for working at these companies. The cost of daycare is not a concern for me. Next one, he says, I tried talking with her and she already made a decision that she needs all these things and dismisses any compromises. See, she's a fucking tyrant. I'm sure Attila the Hun was more compromising with his wives, I said wives, than this broad is. Get out, man. Get out. I think that her friends have been talking with her more and more, and it felt so sudden because she's been talking with them for so long about this. It felt terrible knowing that she didn't want to talk to me about this, because she doesn't give a crap about you, brother. Do you need a neon sign blinking in your face telling you this? But remember, guys, guarantee you this is one of the type of guys that the girls settle for. Not the guy they were chasing after in college with Chad and Tyrone. And this is what they typically do. 3. She's moving out, and we are ending the relationship. Nice job, brother. Thank the Lord. She has yelled at me a few times, and I'm not talking to her so that I don't say anything mean to her. Well, smack. Say something mean to her. She's been nothing but mean to you. But good, she's moving out. Goodbye. Good riddance. 4. Thank you all for the comments. It hurts to be reduced to a means to an end. If I could take more time off than my paternity leave would allow me, then I absolutely would spend time with my future kids. It hurt that she felt that she needed all these things, but completely dismissed all the feelings I had, and I couldn't even talk with her about a compromise. I'm going to therapy now, and the therapist says that everything about this is dodging a bullet. That is 100% dodging a bullet. Good for him. He obviously ended with her. He wasn't going to give in to her demands, and she's out of there. Now at 27 years old, guess what, guys? She has to start over. Because she wants to have these kids, and she wants to have them before her dad gets too old. So now she really has to amp things up. So one of two things is going to happen. She's going to go find another sucker, a guy probably more of a sucker than this guy, even though he ended it right. Or she'll be back begging and pleading this guy and saying she'll compromise when she won't. Yeah, because again, the 20s is the prime for her, for women. And the prime years to have children. Once they get in their 30s, it becomes more challenging. And it's amazing, even, I think, early 30s, mid-30s, definitely, is considered more like high-risk pregnancy. Sure, they can have children then, but it's more risky. But look what she pulled, the poker play she pulled. Like, if I don't get what I want, I'm breaking up with you. Well, goodbye. Tell her at the door, hit your butt on the way out, honey. And there you go. He has the power. He may not have been the guy that they all were chasing after in high school and college, but now he has a good income. All that type of stuff. He's got, on paper, he's got a lot of good things going for him. He needs to understand that. So all guys out there realize most women at some point want a relationship. Most want to get married. Some are traditional and want to have children and all that for good reasons. But others want to get married just to say at least that some guy wanted to actually marry them for the big wedding and the party and the status or that. Or if they want to get married, they at least want a relationship for some of the time. Remember, guys, half the population of the world are women out there. Not that you all want them, but you get my point. If you are considered to be a catch on multiple fronts, or even if you're just an average Joe, but you do well for yourself and all that, remember, they want a relationship at some point. So if they're being a-holes, nope, goodbye. You have the power. You have the keys to relationships. Except most guys don't get that because they weren't given much attention from the ladies growing up. And then they'll take anything they can get. Or they got low self-esteem. Or they convince themselves they have to be in a relationship. No. It's better to be alone to some tyrant like this. Now I'm going to read a couple comments. This is from a woman. The first one I picked. This woman says, so she wants the lifestyle more than she wants you. This would be enough for me to walk away. Love, real love, is about compromise. She'd rather walk away from you or break up than find a way for both of you to make it work. Trust me, the best choice you can ever make is to let her leave. You're still young and can find someone who truly loves you, and you'll be happy in the situation as long as you guys are in it together. Yeah, exactly. I still think, she's talking about like the girl walking away. I think because the guy said, no, you're not getting these things, so goodbye. But yeah. But he has to be smart about this because he can find another gold digger. Another one. This guy says she's already a teacher, which is amazing quality of life job for a parent. The big red flag is that her won't compromise requirements all fall into the category of things you need to do to enable me to live the life I want with no responsibility or liability for those choices, and that you alone will bear the cost forever. This is a rough position to live in. Once she leaves the workforce for over a year, she ain't going back. There'll be 100% will be reasons. You're going to have a very hard life giving her an easy one. Yeah, guaranteed. Once she leaves being a teacher and has a few kids and has the time to go back, she ain't going to want to go back. And I've seen this in marriages where the wife was supposed to go back to work and became so resentful of the husband because she had to go back because they needed it financially, like he was such a bad guy because he wasn't making enough money. But then again, I've seen guys that were making a lot of money providing, and the same wife was resentful because he wasn't spending enough time with them. But he was providing the life so that she wouldn't have to work and a nice lifestyle, and no matter what, the guy can't win. But remember, guys, you have the key to relationships. And I don't need to read any more. You all get the point, so never forget what I just said.